All right, so hi and welcome to the Professional Development Learning module on Remind 101. So I just wanted to kind of go through some of the generic abilities of Remind and some special features. So the best way to start, of course, is to go to remind.com. Right, so it's just remind.com. And then if you already have an account, you can just log in. Or you can sign up for an account. What I like to do when I sign up for new accounts, when you can sign up with Google, it's really nice because it kind of syncs everything together. So when I made my account for this learning module, I just clicked sign up with Google, and then it logged me through my Google account, my Gmail. So for now though, since I already have an account, I can just go to log in, and then it'll load. So Remind has two different formats. You have the online format that's on your desktop, and then you have the app, so you can easily download the app, and it's very user-friendly, and it has all of these same features. But for our purposes, we are just going to work with the desktop version. So this is kind of what your home will look like. You'll see I made a class B. I'll show you what that's for in just a minute. But you have your name over here. I never use my first name with my students. I always use Miss Tuggle, so that's why that's there. And then you have your classes that you own. So this means that you're the instructor of those classes. And then you have classes joined. So a lot of schools, they will have teachers join a class that's for the full schools. You'll see my school Gmail, or my school Remind right there. And they use it mostly for traffic updates. So we have really bad traffic around our school. So sometimes our principal will send us out messages saying like, hey, beware of this wreck here, you might have some slowdowns, but that's really good for anytime you need to have, whenever you need to tell all of your teachers something. But for our purposes, we are just going to worry about this section right here for now, and then you're actually going to join our class. So to create a class in Remind, and whenever I say class, I use it in quotation marks because you don't just have to use it for classes. People use Reminds for clubs, so you can make a quote class for a club that you are the sponsor of, or you can use it for all of your kids together. You don't have to necessarily break it up into periods. I teach high school, so I usually do like a first period, second period, third period, but you don't necessarily have to do that. So how you interpret class is just up to you. So to create a class, again, very user-friendly, you just click Create a Class. Now, I usually will name something first period language arts or second period language arts or whatever you want to name your classes, but for our purposes, we are going to make the class PDLM. And then the class codes, this is what your students are going to text to join your class. So I usually use my name in it somewhere, just because most first period, second period, third period names are already taken, so it's good to have your name in there. And then I name it something specific to that class. So for our purposes, we're going to name this class Tuggle PDLM. Oh, it says that it's unavailable, so I'm going to change it so that it's PDLM Tuggle. Then you have to click this, noting that you're only going to message it to people 13. You're only going to send messages to people who are 13 or older. And then you create, and then there's your class. Now, of course, you have to add people. So you have your three major categories up here. You have messages, you have files where you can actually upload assignments, something like that, schedules, syllabi, whatever you want to do. And then you have people, and this is going to be your list of people who have joined your class. So if we want to add people, we're going to click on this Add People button. So there are 4 main ways to add people to your Remind. If you know all of your students' names, all of your students' phone or emails, or any secondary phones or emails, you can just type those in. I have never done this for a class because it is way too time consuming. And I'll show you what I do in just a minute. The second option is to do a printable PDF. This is good for if you have some kind of open house, and so you want to just print these out and kind of post them around your room so that your students can go ahead and join, or their parents can join. It'll just give really specific information on how to join with their phones, and they don't even have to download the app. They just text in. And then the good thing about messages through Remind is that most students receive them like text messages. So they don't even have to download the app if they're worried about that. So this is the one that I usually use. Usually the first day of class, I post this to the board, and it tells students what they can text in to join the class. So you'll see that it says 2 and then a number. That's the recipient. So I usually tell my students, instead of texting mom, you're going to text 81010. And then the message that they send is that and then it's the class code that you made for them to text in. So they text in that number, they immediately get a response back that says, you have joined the class, welcome to Remind. It gives them some information about how to use Remind, all that kind of stuff. And then on your end, you'll get a notification, usually through an email, it just depends on your setting, but you'll get a notification about this person has joined this class. Fourth way that you can have people add your class and join your class is to share a link. So you'll see that all they have to do is, you can copy this link, all they have to do is go to that website, that URL, and it'll ask them a couple questions, and then they can join your class. Of course, you can also email the link, but again, just like with that first option, the phone or email contacts, you have to have everybody's email in order to add them. So that's just kind of time consuming and not always the best option. Also, if you want to copy the link and put it onto, if you have a class website through your school or a Google Classroom, that's something really great to have on your About page so that people at any time can join. So that's how you add people. Now we're going to talk a little bit about sending messages. So again, you have your 3 main little categories up here. Messages is the first one. So this is, once again, just the desktop version. On your phone, it's very, very similar. You'll have an area to put your messages, and then you can just send it out. So for our purposes, we're going to just go right here. And then when you click the Message Everyone in PDLM, remember that's the name of our class. If you click on that, you then have the option to change who you want to send it to. So I don't have any students right now because y'all are but yeah, I will when y'all join. But you can see that you can add different classes. So that's why I have that class B to show you that, say you're teaching 4 periods of language arts and you need to send out a message to everybody, not just first period. You can click multiple classes and then it can send out. You can also just send it to specific people. So when people join your class, they will say whether they are a teacher, a student, or a parent. So if you just need to send something to your students, you can click students. If you just need to send something to parents, you can click parents and then uncheck students. So that's a really nice option if you just have something that you just need to send to students, or if you need to send it just to parents or to everybody. Now you also have the option, if you uncheck those, you can just send it to specific people. So remember, I am in a class with all the faculty members at my school. So these are all the people that are in that class. So if I wanted to say, send something to Dr. Husby, I could just click that and it would only send to Dr. Husby. So if you need to send a specific message to just one group, say you're doing a group project and you only have to send it to one group, you can just type their names. So let's go with Husby, and then it'll go right there and you can click it and then click continue. So for now though, we are just going to send to PDLM. So I'm going to send it to everybody in this imaginary class. You're going to click continue, and this is where you can type any information that you need. So I'm just going to go with this generic message. Welcome to PDLM. Looking forward to using Remind to share updates, notes, and more. Thanks for joining. So from here, you have a bunch of different options. This thing on the side, it has ways for you to link certain files to your message. So it really embeds nicely with Quizlet, which I think a lot of teachers use, as well as I use a lot of Google. One of my classes that I teach, every single assignment is on Google Drive. So it's really nice if you link up and you logged in with your Google accounts, it goes perfectly there. So this is actually the form that you will use to give me feedback on this module. So a good use of this would be like, maybe I want to send out this form for y'all to get. I can click on it, it links there, and then I send it to you and you have the link right there. So that's really nice. Also, 2 more options is you can send it now. So if you are just typing up a message, want to send it to students right then and there, you click send. I honestly use schedule more often than I use send, because I'll be at school, I'll tell students, okay, you have an online quiz due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And they usually ask me if I will remind them when that time comes. If I send them a message right then saying, hey, don't forget about your quiz, that serves no purpose because I just told them about the quiz. But I can decide, I can put it so that it will send on Sunday I usually do about 6 p.m. or something, because I figure kids are like settling down, doing their homework at 6 o'clock. So I might want to send it to them at 6 p.m. on the Sunday that it's due. And then if I click schedule, it doesn't send out the message right then. It sends it out when I told them to send it out. So that's good, because I'm not going to remember to remind them on Sunday. I don't trust myself with that. So I just schedule it right then. As soon as they say, hey, can you send us a reminder, I get up on my computer while they're working and schedule something to be sent to them. All right, so I'm going to discard this for now. That's really the main things that we are going to discuss for on Remind. So I'm going to stop this screencast and give you your next activity.